There is one thing in your life that will influence you far more than anything else. If you can position yourself so that this powerful influence works in your favor, you will be happier, more motivated, and your life will be more fulfilled. If you don't position yourself correctly, you will forever feel as if something is weighing you down. You will be most influenced by the people with which you spend the majority of your time. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, have you ever gone for a walk with someone and noticed yourself subconsciously speeding up or slowing down to match their pace? The people you orbit will nudge you in one direction or another until slowly but surely you begin adopting their attitudes. Their dominating thoughts will become your dominating thoughts. Their good and bad habits will become your habits. And their morals, values, and standards will become your morals, values, and standards. The power of influence from the people you are surrounded by works in both directions. And I've experienced both the positive and the negative in the last 2 years. 2010 was so far the best year of my life. I was in very high spirits and feeling as confident as I've ever felt. It seemed as if everything that I touched turned to gold. Almost effortlessly, I was following my heart and making things happen in every area of my life. 2011, on the other hand, was a frustrating year for me. Disappointingly, many of the things that I was involved in didn't go according to plan. Even though I was pushing myself harder than ever, and in many ways was working twice as hard as I had been in 2010, still things didn't go my way. And I racked my brains trying to figure out, how was 2010 so fantastic and everything came so easily to me? And in 2011, all of the same things were such a struggle. Until finally I realized that the obvious difference between the 2 years was the caliber of people that I had been associating with. For example, in the first 6 months of 2010, I attended every Toastmasters meeting in this club. I trained for a marathon with some very motivated runners, and I worked on a particular project with 2 of my most positive and most productive friends. In contrast, in 2011, I had given up Toastmasters completely. I was doing my running training on my own, and I was conducting some business with some uninspiring and untrustworthy characters. Just a few changes in my weekly activities had me associating with people who were dragging me in the wrong direction. Take a moment to think about the people who you were spending the majority of your time with. Are they influencing you in the right direction? I discussed the message of this speech with my sister Elisa. She wholeheartedly agreed with the incredible benefits of surrounding yourself with people who can be a great influence on you. 3 years ago, Elisa had a tough year. She had just broken up with her boyfriend of 5 years. One of her best friends, Emma, was a very bubbly, tall, brown-haired girl who was very close to Elisa, was on her way home from college one day when she suddenly and unexpectedly died. Besides being frustrated by the breakup, Elisa was now devastated by the death of one of her best friends. What made it even more difficult for her to stay positive was the fact that with all of the bad news, her friends just didn't know how to behave around her. She found them treating her like a victim and trying not to joke around or have too much fun with her. Elisa was desperately trying to get back to being positive and moving on with her life, but trying to move forward was like swimming against the tide. With everything that had happened, she found herself thinking very hard about how she could best use her time. And she decided to spend a few months doing some charity work in Kenya. This turned out to be an absolute blessing. Elisa was chosen to be part of a select group of volunteers that had gone through rigorous interviews to make the grade. Volunteers had to be confident, have exceptional interpersonal skills, and great strength of character. Living and working with the other volunteers, or the Kenyan crew, as she affectionately called them, gave her a major morale boost. It was like getting a daily injection of adrenaline. Their enthusiasm and energy was contagious, and she very quickly broke out of the negative frame of mind that she had been in. She arrived home enlightened, and once more feeling incredibly positive about herself and her future. The friends that Elisa made on this trip continue to have a major positive impact on her life. Think for a moment about how you could bring more great people into your life. You may not be able to head off to Kenya, but you could join a club, or you could start a new hobby, or you could do something where you're meeting new and positive people. In conclusion, wise words have said that people are either anchors or motors. You want to get around the motors. They're the ones that are going somewhere, and they're having a lot more fun. The anchors will only drag you down. There are so many great people out there. Don't waste your time with someone who is needlessly holding you back. Why not have only positive, nurturing, and genuine friendships? Why not have only positive, supportive, caring, and loving relationships? Why not choose to surround yourself with those who get you fired up and who challenge you to be better? I've made the promise to myself to only associate with those who help me to be better. Why don't you make that promise to yourself today? Mr. Contest Chair.